Hey guys, John Lee Dumas here, founder and host of EO Fire, and you're listening to Bravepreneur Parents Academy with Bellagio.
Welcome to Bravepreneur Parents Academy, where the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs reveal their most defining childhood moments and share their legacy for raising brave little heroes who will grow up to change the world. And now, he still reads comic books under the blanket at bedtime. Please welcome your host, best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and self-confessed geek dad, Bellagio. You know, like the hotel in Vegas? Yeah, no, that's really his name. Bellagio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Today, we are speaking with the Oprah of Mom Talk. Yep, that's right. We got her, Miss Denise LaRosa. Denise LaRosa is the founder and CEO of Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa, LLC, a multimedia platform. She's not just podcasting, y'all, but she's a multimedia platform designed to motivate, inspire, and inform moms. So Denise uses her parenting experience. She's got two beautiful, beautiful daughters. She uses her experience as an elementary educator with a master's degree in education. This lady knows her stuff, and she's bringing the heat once a week. As a matter of fact, she recently went to twice a week. Mom Talk Denise is an invaluable resource on parenting. It's not just for moms. I can tell you that as a dad myself. She's happily married, two beautiful girls, and we're going to find out exactly how Oprah's people made her cry. It wasn't right. Wasn't right. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Oprah of Mom Talk, Denise. What's up, Denise?
Hey, Bellagio. Oh my goodness. Can I just take you with me on the road?
Hey, if you're paying, I work for food.
Okay, well, it's a deal.
It's a distinct pleasure to have you on here. You've been doing Mom Talk Denise for, I think, the past year. It is an amazing podcast. I love it, love the personality, love the value, the passion for kids. Thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. That just means the world to me. I just love hearing that.
Now, Denise, you don't necessarily call yourself Oprah, but I'm calling you Oprah because you have the most hilarious, and we've all heard a bunch of Oprah stories, but you have the funniest Oprah story I've ever heard. Take us back, Denise, if you would. Take us back to how exactly your world collided with Oprah's. Where did this start?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are going back 11 years. I cannot believe it's been 11 years, but it was September 4th, 2004, and a few days prior to that, I got a phone call from Oprah's people, her producers for her Oprah's Book Club segments, and they wanted me to fly to Chicago, all on Oprah, to be a special guest for her book club. The book that we were reading at the time was Anna Karenina, and I had submitted video diaries following my journey through reading this really big book. And so I basically entertained them all summer. It got to the point where they just asked me to just send these every week. They were so entertained. They were even paying for the shipping for these videos. Okay. And so then the time came to air the show, and they asked me to be a guest. So, of course, I had a limo ride, the hotel stay. It was just...
Wait. How old were you, Denise? Hang on. How old were you?
I was 23.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Fresh out of college.
Yes.
And this is something that a lot of us, like one day, maybe by the time I'm 70, I might get a postcard from Oprah. You got invited to the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Yes.
Not Oprah Jenkins, not Oprah Smith. This is the Oprah.
Yeah, the Oprah. Yes. Big O, Mama O.
Unbelievable. I'm a little mad at you, but go ahead. So you got it. You were in the Oprah limo. Okay, I'm with you. I'm riding with you.
Yeah. So ride with me here. So we're there. We're good. It was literally like a less than 24-hour experience. So I get there like that evening, that morning. My limo driver takes me to the set, and it was so funny because when I got out of the limo, people who were in line to, be in the audience for the show, they thought I was Oprah,
What?
Yeah, because I was like, they were letting me in the side entrance, so they're like, oh my gosh, it's Oprah. I'm like, no, try again.
hilarious.
Yeah, so I got into the side entrance, and I met this producer who I had been communicating with over the summer, and we were so excited. Now, mind you, this was the year that Oprah debuted, you know, the big curly locks. She had lost a ton of weight, so her look was totally different, and she didn't have a show out yet for the season. So I was taping, like, literally days before her season premiere, the premiere where they gave away the cars. Yeah, so I'm sitting there talking to the producer, and all of a sudden this beautiful woman walks down the steps in front of me, and I just give her pleasantries. You know, I was voted friendliest girl in high school, so I'm smiling at her and, you know, just kind of give her a little hello, and I'm going on about my merry business. And then it hit me, okay.
Is that the guest of the guest of the day for the show?
Well, let me tell you who that was. The diamond earrings were blinding me, and there were like three big dudes walking with her, and I was like, oh my goodness, that was Oprah. Wow.
That was Oprah?
It was Oprah. Oh my gosh. So I'm like after that, like, I was silently flipping out, but I still like had this nice look on my face, and she walked by, and I turned to the producer, and I was like, well, I think I handled that pretty well, don't you think? And the producer said to me, yeah, well, sort of. Just try not to stare at her so much the next time. She doesn't like it when people stare at her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't think I was staring, but apparently I was.
Don't make eye contact.
Right. I was like, I wasn't fainting or screaming or anything. So, yeah, I was, like, super embarrassed because I thought for sure I'd get to hang out in the green room with Oprah, you know, share, like, some champagne and talk about the good old days. But, no, that didn't happen.
Wow. Wow. Your Oprah moment. That's amazing. I mean, kudos to you. You made it onto the Oprah show. That's really an accomplishment. But you've since run with this whole mantle of sort of being a mompreneur. Now, Denise, I know you used to teach in elementary school. What levels did you teach?
Yes, I taught second grade for 3 years and kindergarten for 2.
Okay, and you also taught dance, if memory serves.
Yes, I was a dance instructor for many years. I worked with children in the dance studios in New York City, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in Virginia, throughout the areas there. And, yeah, it was an amazing experience, and it taught me a lot about children and child development.
That's excellent, because I kind of want to get onto that a little bit. So pretty much all of us listening are parents right now. A lot of us still have young kids. And one of the things that we're so concerned about as parents is making sure that our kids are developing, they're learning at a good pace. Right? So we want to make sure our kids have the best chance so they can get into the best college and get a good job and make good money, you know, and we can feel like we've done our jobs. But let's not hurry ahead too much. In those younger years, Denise, tell me a little bit about how you get the kids motivated to learn. How do you make sure that they can actually live up to their amazing potential?
Oh, I love this question. Oh, my goodness. Well, there's basically 3 strategies that you need to have in place. Number 1, modeling. Children are so into absorbing every little thing that you do. And I even wrote a blog post about my mom that was titled, Do As I Say and As I Do. And I spoke about how children learn so much more from our actions as opposed to our words. And those words are important. But if you are valuing learning, if your child sees you holding a book and reading a book, they're going to value books. Think about our cell phones. You know, you always see kids like wanting to play with your cell phone and tinker with your cell phone, and you're like, oh my goodness, why are you so into my cell phone? That's because you are into your cell phone.
Wow.
You know, so if you just model a love of learning and see life as one big classroom, the children will just soak that all in, and they will in turn like be a mirror. They will reflect that in their own lives.
So modeling, that is powerful. I'm a little bit mad at that whole cell phone thing because my kids always want to play on my phone. But then any chance I get, I'm looking at my phone.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, we all do that, and so that's a good point, Bellagio, because I always tell my listeners and anyone that I come across, any mother and dad as well, I love this quote by Jill Churchill, and it is this: there is no perfect way to be a mother and a million ways to be a good one. So just take the stress off yourself, like, yes, of course, my kids are always into my cell phone too, because I am, So I don't say those things to make you feel bad, but just to bring it to your attention so that whenever you are living your life and going about your daily life, you have that in the back of your mind. You're aware. And so the second thing is exposure. Again, seeing life as one big classroom. There's all these gadgets and gizmos and these fancy toys and all this stuff out there, but you are your child's greatest educational resource. And the world is the greatest educational resource for you. It's the greatest tool that you can use. So things such as like going to the grocery store. I take my kids with me to the grocery store, and my girls have their own paper and crayons, and they have their own checklist, and we're, going along the grocery store, and I'll point out the different colors I see. And now my 3-year-old, what fruits do you see? Oh, there are the vegetables. And so, even the car ride, look at the different colors of the leaves. What different colors do you see? How many cars do you see? All of those moments are learning opportunities. And then finally, maximizing free resources. Oh, my goodness, the library. Remember those?
They still make those?
Yeah, they do. And you know what's amazing? Libraries do more than just house books where you can check books out. You have so many different programs, free programs out there. I remember like a couple years ago taking my daughter to toddler time at the library for free. It was like a 2.5-hour class where a retired school teacher did a whole lesson with the children, and it was a free resource. So just really tap into those. Like every area, whether it's rural, suburban, or city, there's all kinds of free resources at your disposal, and just kind of dig into what's going on around you, and you'll find them.
I love that. I never thought about the example of going to the grocery store with the kids and actually using that as a classroom. I've never thought of that before. I'm usually, smacking my kids' hands. Don't touch that cereal. Stop grabbing the candy. So I like your approach a little better.
Thank you. Yeah, it keeps me sane. I mean, let's keep it real here. Like the girls always do great. They're just like champs in the beginning. They've got their little list and they're happy. But, an hour into it, they're starting to scream, throwing things, and,
an hour into shopping, I start to scream and throw things too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the children are just showing us what we're kind of thinking in our own minds. So, yeah, it's totally the same for me too.
That's very cool. Okay, but Denise, I'm going to throw you a curveball. So what do we do? What do we parents do when we have a child that is adamant? They don't like, fill in the blank, like they don't like math. They don't like social studies. They don't like – what do you do when your child is actively resistant to learning that particular thing?
Oh, I love this, and I loved challenging students. So this is right up my alley.
It's okay. Their parents aren't on, so you don't have to.
No, I'm serious. I love a challenge, and those were like my absolute favorite kids to work with. So here's the deal. You have to meet your children where they are. So, for example, let's say your child just hates reading, hates it, would do almost anything, would rather take like medicine than to read a book.
There are a lot of kids that are there right now.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you meet your children where they are. Try to find and discover and observe what they are interested in. So let's say your child absolutely loves movies or their favorite cartoons. They will just be so absorbed into those things, and they're looking at this stuff and they love it, they love it, they love it. So, for example, my girls love the movie Frozen. Well, my dad, or Pawpaw, I should call him, got the girls this wonderful book series. It's like 8 books, and they're revolve around the movie Frozen. There's 8 different little stories. So the children already know the characters. They love the storyline. And so here are these books. So they're going to be into those books. If your children love video games or board games, meet them where they are and find a way to weave those activities, those academics, into what they're already doing.
Meet them where they are. So if the kids like video games, for example, we've talked about that, maybe it's Minecraft or Clash of Clans. You're suggesting find a way to tie that into the learning. So if you're trying to teach math, find math opportunities. If you're trying to teach reading, find reading books that are related to that topic and so on. Is that about right?
Absolutely.
I wonder if I can somehow tie the Plants vs. Zombies game into a math lesson. I'll have to think about that one.
Sure.
But I'm going to try.
Add the zombies. I don't know. I mean.
How many body parts
Yes.
does it take to make a zombie?
Listen,
Good Lord.
where there's a will, there's a way.
That's fascinating. So, Denise, I'm curious about the dance piece, okay? So you taught second grade, you did general education, but at some point you pivoted to teaching dance classes. How did that tie in, and is that something that we as parents should be thinking about a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. And it was kind of the reverse for me. I was a dancer first. And I lived in New York City for a year, did the struggling artist thing. I was a professional dancer in a modern dance company. So, it was really awesome because I entered the world of general education via the arts. So I started with the arts. And there's so much to learn. You learn so much about your children whenever you're tapping into their creative sides. And so there's so much developmentally speaking with movement. Our children love to move, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, meeting children where they are. So if they love to move, don't try to strap them to a seat, Like my girls learn by moving around. I mean, we'll do little crafts and activities, and I let them move. And, a lot of times I think we try to make children, mold them into something they're not, and then we get frustrated, and then they're frustrated. And so I think we just need to celebrate who they are. So I learned a lot about children, about what really piques their interest, their creativity, like letting that shine and, just really embracing them as they are and just celebrating their unique selves.
Okay. Speaking of which, and I'm fascinated with the whole starving artist being a professional dancer thing. That's a scene that perhaps some of us at times have fantasized about, although none of us really have that talent to be able to even think about dreaming of such a career. But what was that like for you? I guess growing up, being a dancer, taking all the classes. This is something a lot of us have kids that are doing soccer or cheerleading or dance right now. Some of these kids are talented. The reality is that a lot of them aren't going to become professionals at that thing. For you, you actually were able to taste a little bit of that life. So I'm curious to know what that was like growing up as a dancer, finally getting a shot to try it, and how you then transitioned back into teaching.
Sure. It was incredible. I mean, you learn so much. Everything from social skills to discipline, determination, hard work. You see that if you work hard, you can achieve more. And it's the same in education where reading is a skill, math is a skill. And sometimes we as adults forget that, because it's coming so automatic for us. But it didn't always come automatic. But we get into this zone where we just read and we just do it. But it's a skill, much like dance and baseball and soccer. If you want to get better at it, you continue to practice, and your parents take you to those dance classes and take you to the soccer practice. Well, academics is the same thing. So that was incredible to really kind of bridge those two worlds. And it was just amazing. I just realized that throughout my career as a performer, a lot of it, unfortunately, like 90% of it was about, did you have a certain look? I mean, you would work so hard and you may have the technique, but at the end of the day, I remember getting an audition at BET to be this dancer for a show that ended up not ever happening. But it was funny because I made it to like the final 10 and I didn't get it. And I just remember contacting the choreographer and it was like, well, can you give me some advice so that I know going into the next audition what I need to work on? And she was like, oh, you were incredible, but you were too tall.
Wow.
So that was kind of a little heartbreaking where, but at the same time, it just set me up for life. I mean, it's the same thing like whenever you are applying for a job, you may have all those skills and talents, but maybe there's a personality mismatch or, a cultural difference maybe your personality doesn't mesh well with what the company, and sometimes you can think, oh, that's unfair, that's not right, but it's life, and you got to bloom where you're planted. So I just kind of learned to take criticism better. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm totally numb to it, but I'm just used to those cattle calls. You don't look right. I even did pageants. You don't have the right look, but it didn't mean that I wasn't a beautiful person. So it took me a while to get to that point. Of course, it took a lot of growing pains and, rejection, and finally realizing there's nothing wrong with me, but, it's just not the right fit.
Well, Denise, I've got some words of wisdom for you, some career advice. If I may.
Oh, go for it.
I may. All right. You've got big dreams. You want fame? Well, fame costs. And right here is where you start paying. And so, sorry.
Oh my
That's
God.
from the TV show Fame. Come on, people. Don't leave.
I was like, when did Debbie Allen come on this interview?
Don't leave me hanging here. I'm taking y'all back to 1982. Come on. Now.
And let me tell you something. Debbie Allen, oh my goodness, she's incredible. She's one of my sheroes.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. I used to watch the show Fame when I was a kid in Nigeria, of all places. Yes, the TV show was back there. And then I got to see her again on A Different World.
Yes.
Oh my, loved that TV show. That was actually one of the things that got me to Morehouse College, which is a historically black college in Atlanta, Georgia. So, yes, Debbie Allen is doing her thing, still doing her thing.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize, and I'm so glad you brought her up, Bellagio, because it's so cool that she started off as a dancer, choreographer, actress, but people don't realize, she is a phenomenal director. She directs a lot of the episodes of Scandal, I believe Empire even, and yeah, and it's a lot of that discipline as a dancer. And I'm so blessed that I'm kind of jumping ahead, but talking about my parents. But I'm so blessed that my parents came from such a very traditional lifestyle of education and get a job. They both worked for the federal government, and here I was, the dancer. I'm the oddball of the family. I just want to twirl around on stage for a living. But you know what? They totally embraced it, and they let me, pursue my dreams. But yeah, so it's so cool because all of those things, they saw it as more than me just twirling around on stage. They saw the value in it and how it could really help mold me and shape me into a well-rounded person, such as Debbie Allen, someone who's now a director on TV.
That is such a great thing to hear. That's a great example. And being honest, when you talked about dance, I didn't think about all these auxiliary benefits that obviously have come from such a disciplined and methodic craft. Learning that rigor, look at how you dealt with rejection at various points and still pushed through, still held your head high, still had that self-esteem, that confidence, still practiced your craft. I mean, those are qualities that any parent would want their children to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just so fortunate that I also came from a family that valued education. So I really approached it in a very logical I was in a very let's put it this way. I was in a place where, yes, I knew I had talents, I had gifts, and I wanted to explore those talents and gifts. But at the same time, I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. So I knew it was important to get an education. So I didn't go straight from high school to New York City. I went to college, and I just happened to study dance. My undergraduate degree is in dance, magna cum laude. But thank you. And, I could have pursued I think originally I was going to pursue exercise physiology and really work with the body and understand all of that, the background to how your body moves the way it moves, how to keep your body healthy. But my point is, I went to school. I got my 4-year degree, and then I moved to New York City. So education was always important in my family, and I look at my grandmothers, and they literally were scrubbing floors on their hands and knees, scrubbing floors to make money so that my parents could have the opportunities that they didn't have. And so they helped pay my parents' way through school. My dad was in Vietnam, so he went to school on the GI Bill, but my mom went straight from high school to undergrad, and it was really in the 60s during a time where that was not really the norm, especially for African American children to do that. So I'm just really blessed that education has always been valued in my family.
Wow, that's phenomenal. What a legacy. What a legacy of the power of education. You know, I know you're a big advocate for education. You come from that profession, and we've talked a little bit about how to get our younger kids excited about reading or about math or science or just learning from the world around them. I want to ask one more question, and then we're going to put you into the lightning round. So just get ready for that. Brace yourself, because it's not easy. Okay. But let me ask you this one more question. As our kids get older and the schoolwork starts to get more rigorous, they start to get that homework. Maybe the homework starts to get to the point where even mom and dad are like, how do you do that again? How you obviously excelled as a student. How can we kind of light that fire in our kids to really stay passionate? We want to raise smart kids, Denise. How can we make sure that our kids are doing all they can do and getting all they can get out of their schooling?
Well, I think children and even young adults, they will value education if they know how it applies to them. How is this going to benefit them? And I think we really underestimate our children, and we don't communicate with them. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know that a lot of times, God bless my mom, my grandma, and my dad, but you would be like, in a situation where your parents or your grandparents would tell you to do something, and you would ask, but why? And I was one of those kids, and I mean, boy, that did not go over well. You know, but it's so funny because my brother was just like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know, I mean, he may be mouthing off to himself somewhere, but he played the game right. But I was the one that was wanting to know why, and it sometimes would be misunderstood as me trying to be like a smarty pants and, you know, rebel. But I was one of those people that wanted to understand, like, how does this apply to me? Why is that not right? Why shouldn't I do that? Why should I do this? So I think you have to communicate with your children, and you have to show them how it benefits them. I just talked to my husband about this. He was talking to me the other day, and he was talking about how whenever he was in high school and he was doing, like, you know, geometry and calculus and all that stuff, he was just like, he didn't get it. He just wasn't doing very well at these classes. And then as he started living life and started, you know, needing to apply these things in everyday life, certain, you know, skills, he figured it out because he was applying it to real life situations. It wasn't like, you know, you see in the classroom, for example, you're teaching fractions and you just see a circle and the teacher's drawing a circle on the chalkboard, or nowadays the whiteboard, and just, you know, drawing all these, dividing all these different parts. Well, okay, there's a circle on the board and you're dividing all these parts. Well, I love my daughter's preschool because they literally have different fruits and they're Velcro together in fractions. So, for example, the orange is in two, and they have a fake knife, not a real one, people, but a little wooden knife, a little fake knife, and she has to, quote-unquote, cut the orange. And so she had one orange. Now she cuts the orange, and she has the oranges now in two different pieces. And, you know, the bananas in thirds. They have to cut them into thirds. So I think that's the thing. We have to, if we want them to keep that spark and that excitement, we can't just have them sitting at the kitchen table with a stack of books and no
grinding it out.
Yeah, I mean, how is that fun? Oh my goodness, you know. I mean, and that's how a lot of us were raised, and I think this is a new generation where, you know, that just doesn't fly. You've got to really show them the value and even, you know, take them to real life situations. I don't know. I can't really think off the top of my head, but, you know, if your child wants to be an engineer, you know, maybe go on a field trip, you know, or schedule a time. Like, my husband works at a TV station, and there's always field trips going on. I even took my second graders there to the news station, you know, so show them. Like, my husband's an engineer. Okay, well, instead of him just sitting in a classroom or sitting at the kitchen table with those lessons, you know, take take your child to the TV station and give them a tour and show them the control room and how they have to know those skills to do the job.
I love that. I love that. That's so good. Just explaining to the kids why it's important, how it's going to help them. You're right. We don't give our kids enough credit, and it's probably because that's what happened to us when we were kids.
Right.
Do it because I said so. Sometimes I'll catch myself saying that, and I'm like, oh, I said I'd never say that.
I know.
But it's so convenient at times when you're stressed out, you're multitasking, you're short on time, and you feel like you don't have time to explain to the nth degree. But it really is a habit that if we can get away from, it would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, Denise, it's about that time. There's no more stalling, no more beating around the bush. We got to put you through the lightning round. Are you ready?
Whew, as ready as I'll ever be.
All right, shake it up, loosen it up.
All right, I'm shaking.
All right.
I'm already shaking. I told you that off the record. I had too much coffee.
She had too much coffee. We're about to start. She's like, wait, I got to go to the bathroom. Too much coffee. All right, let's go, Denise. Let's do this. Your favorite superhero growing up?
Oh, well, you said growing up. Oh, my goodness, I was going to say Iron Man, but Iron Man today, but when I was growing up, She-Ra, Princess of Power. Hello.
Wow, She-Ra. Oh, you get bonus points for She-Ra.
Yes.
Oh, yes, bonus points. I love that. What about your favorite cartoon?
Oh, my goodness. Jim and the Holograms. She's truly outrageous.
I never watched that one. That one didn't make it over the pond to Nigeria, but my wife loves that show. I'm a little mad you mentioned it because now she's going to be singing the theme song nonstop, and I have you to thank.
Hey, even my girls are watching it. I've got them in here as Jim fans up in this house, and my poor husband is so mad at me.
There will be no Gem in my household if I have anything to do with it. I'm sorry. I'm not going there with you, Denise. All right. What about a favorite family tradition growing up?
Oh, my goodness. This is going to sound so cheesy, but just talking.
Just talking?
Yeah, we are, so into just talking and reminiscing and laughing over meals. And my grandmother's meals, rest in peace. I miss her. And one of the reasons why is, her turkey, her ham, oh, my goodness, she would make the best corn pudding. Oh, my Lord. So just eating and laughing over those holiday meals. I loved it.
The simple things.
Yes.
The simple things. I love that. What was one embarrassing moment for you as a child? We all have them, Denise. We all have them. Is there one that you can share with us?
Ooh, which one? Oh, my goodness. I'm a constant embarrassment, but to this day, oh, dear.
We only need one, Denise.
Okay, one. Oh, my word. Well, I was in middle school, and I was at a go-kart, little racetrack, and I didn't realize that the go-kart had brakes. I don't know why, but I guess my foot couldn't reach it, and I was, totally out of control. And so, yeah, I saw this dude that was working on the racetrack. He was just, standing there, and I thought he was cute. So I, leaned back to the side of my little go-kart, and I put one hand on the steering wheel. The other was, hanging out. And I totally missed the curve and, to the wall. And my little go-kart flipped. And so the same dude that I was trying to impress had to, hoist me out of there, flip my cart back over. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Just say no to driving, right. Denise, of all sorts.
Well, yeah, and my best friend was with me, and she was like, oh, my God. When I got my license, some years later, she was like, I don't even want to ride with you after that experience.
Can't blame her. I wouldn't do it either. Denise, what is one big struggle that you went through, perhaps in those preteen years or even as a teenager, whether it was bullying, peer pressure, awkwardness? What's one of those moments that you remember still?
Oh, the Jerry curl. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I would say the politically correct way of wording it is that I had very coarse hair. My mom would say it was nappy. So she gave up and just, took me to the salon, and yes, I was introduced to the Jerry curl. And I wore it a few years after it was out of style.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, timing is everything, folks. So needless to say, I was in middle school, but I had the Wave Nouveau, which was like a little looser. And you know, it was so funny because I'm from a small town and in West Virginia, and so it's predominantly white, and so they thought it was natural. But, you know, my brothers and sisters, they knew that thing was like, you know, prefabbed. You know, it wasn't the real deal. And I got teased so bad. Oh, my gosh. You know, people were like, oh, my gosh, you're dripping. It's raining, you know, like all kinds of stuff. And I was just so self-conscious and just so hurt. I was just bullied so bad. People who were supposedly my friends were like, you know, laughing at me. And it was rough. It was really rough.
Feel your pain. Yeah. Feel your pain. Looking back, Denise, how do you feel your childhood led you to where you are today?
Oh, there's just so much. I just love the way I was raised, where I was raised in a small town. You were everyone's child, you know. Everyone was raising you. And when that African proverb is said by people, it takes a village to raise a child, I was truly raised in a village, and I just loved it. I just was loved on so much and celebrated and just told I could achieve anything I wanted, and I saw it. My grandmother got her GED at the age of 53.
Wow.
Yeah, like, because when she was in school, it wasn't that she quit school, but the highest grade level was the 8th grade. And she was brilliant. Oh, my goodness, she was so smart. She could add up figures in her head. Here I was with a master's degree, and that woman could outmath me any day. You know? And so I saw it not just through, like, again, like, not just through my family saying, Denise, you can achieve anything. You can be anything you want to be. But I saw it. You know, my mom became a single mother, and I watched her, you know, work hard to achieve everything. And she took 2 kids through school, and my dad was awesome. He helped, but she had a house built from the ground up. You know, I saw the hard work. I saw the value in education, and I was loved on, and all of that combined just made me feel like I could conquer the world.
Wow, that is amazing. That's an amazing testament to all the folks that were around you. And I do have to add the asterisk that you were loved on so much by everyone, perhaps except during the Jerry curl year.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, my family still loved me, but, you know, the wall in the backseat of the car, not so much.
Oh, my gosh. There's still a mark on the backseat of the car.
Right?
All right, Denise, this has been a lot of fun. Really, really got a lot of great tips about how to get our kids excited about learning, how to really inspire them to keep on persevering, whether it's dance or sports or whatever other endeavor, and how to really create that supportive environment that makes them feel like they can do anything. You're a testament to that. I want to ask one more question, Denise, before we get you out of here. And this is a bit of a time capsule question. We're going to time travel. So, Denise, let's pretend it's about 30 years from now. How old are you girls?
Oh, wow. My girls are 3 and 1.
Okay, perfect. So it's 30 years from now, and let's imagine that your girls are now married. Don't get mad at me.
I'm listening.
The moms get mad when I age their children. They get mad at me. Don't get mad. They're married. They have their own kids, their own beautiful boys or girls running around, little whippersnappers. What would you like to say, Denise, to your 2 daughters right now on this recording that they're going to listen to this in the year 2045? This is a love time capsule. What do you want to say to them about this moment in time, why you worked so hard, why you did the things you did, you and your husband, why you made the decisions you made, why you wanted for them what you want for them right now? Talk to your daughters and let them know what you have on your heart.
I love this question. Wow. Okay, as I wipe away the tears, I would just share with my girls, Gianna and Natalie, that if you do nothing else but love people, love your children, and live to serve others, then you have made me so proud. Life is not all about you. It's all about what you can bring to the world, what you can contribute to make the world a little bit brighter, a little bit of a better place. And so we, as your parents, have just worked so hard to instill those values in you, to love each other, to love others, to serve others, to help others. And you can't make me any more proud than you already have made me proud by just being who you are, celebrating yourself, and loving and serving other people. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about how many degrees you have or if you have any degrees. It's about what's in your heart and your spirit. And if you have a beautiful heart and a beautiful spirit, which I know they will continue to have, then you couldn't make me any prouder.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful words. Folks, we've been listening to Denise LaRosa from Mom Talk Denise. Amazing, amazing story from an amazing mother and mompreneur. Denise, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
This has been a lot of fun, folks. Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you on tomorrow's show. For more information about Denise and her show and her parenting, maybe she'll even do a little dance for you, you can go to momtalkdenise.com. You can also find her in iTunes, on Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts exist. Look for Mom Talk Denise. Denise, thank you, and we'll see everybody tomorrow on the Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Up, up, and...
Thanks for supporting my dad's show. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to iTunes. He said hot chocolate is for closers. If you don't subscribe, I don't get hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate.
Fear not. Although this chapter of Bravepreneur Parents Academy has come to its conclusion, we have many more adventures for you and your brave little heroes. Head over to bravequest.me for access to the Brave Quest Journal, an interactive activity playbook that rewards your little ones with points for accomplishing tasks that build character and unleash your child's inner superhero all before bedtime. We look forward to having you join us for more adventures next time on Bravepreneur Parents Academy.